Hi, this is Pastor Ted Marshall. Welcome to the Daily Bread, the rest of the story. Today's Daily Bread was inspired by Win Collier, who wrote this Daily Bread entitled A House on a Rock. If you would, I'd like for you if you would turn to Matthew in the New Testament, Matthew 7:24 to 29. And I'm reading out of the NIV. And this is Matthew 7:24 through 29. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who has built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against the house, and yet it did not fall, because it had a foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who builds his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowd was amazed at his teachings, and because he taught as one who had authority, not as their teachers of the law. Jesus used these images of building a home atop a faulty foundation to express the far riskier danger of building our lives on unsteady ground. He explained how some of our construct our lives on sturdy rock, ensuring that we hold solid when we face fierce storms. Others of us, however, erect our lives on sand, and when the tempest rages, our lives tremble with great crash. In Matthew 7:27, the one distinction between building an unshakable foundation and a crumbling one is whether or not we put Christ's words into practice. The question isn't whether or not we hear the words, but whether or not we practice them. There's much wisdom offered to us in this world, plus lots of advice and help, and much more of it is good and beautiful. If we base our life on any foundation other than humble obedience to God's truth, however, we invite trouble. In his strength, doing what God says is the only way to have a life that's built on rock. And let's talk about a house on rock. In Wisconsin, there is a house that was built many years ago, and this house was built by a man by the name of Alex Jordan. See, Alex discovered a place called Deer Shelter Rock. He fell in love with it and became his favorite picnic spot. He loved it so much that he began pitching a tent and camping on these rocks. One night, after his tent blew away, Jordan decided he wanted something more permanent. He dreamed of a Japanese-style house right on top of the rocks. In 1945, Jordan talked to the farmer who owned the rocks but did not bother to secure formal rights to the property. Yet he still began construction of his dream vacation home. Alex started off by renting the rock and a bit of land around it from the local farmer. He first built a small studio, a fireplace. Followed that, Alex, with the help of his parents, purchased the 240-acre property so that he could continue to build his dream. During the construction, due to his unusual architect and location, Alex had many curious onlookers. Some of the onlookers started knocking on his door and yelling up to the top of the rocks, asking what he was building. They were so intrigued and continually asking to see what's inside. For the price of 50 cents, Jordan gave them a tour of the structure while it was in the construction phase. These meager pennies helped with the cost of the construction. In 1949, with encouragement, his parents placed a stone marker along the highway, and in 1960, officially opened the house to paying visitors. The first day the house on the rock was opened, they made $15. That first year, the attraction grossed a total of $5,000. In 1961, the attraction sales grossed to $34,000. Alex Jordan's dream home just became a tourist attraction. Alex Jordan's retreat home became known as House on the Rock, due to the fact it's built on top of that chimney of rocks referred to as Deer Shelter Rock. The ones that Jordan fell in love with and had many picnics on before his vision of the House of the Rock came into existence. In the years following construction of the original house, Alex continued to expand his vision. Additions were made, and the original structure and buildings added over the course of several decades. Everything Jordan collected and built was on a massive scale, creating an attraction with some of the world's most unique and quirky collections. In 1968, the Mill House opened with one of the world's largest fireplaces. In 1971, the Streets of Yesteryear opened very much like an exhibit at the Milwaukee Public Museum, Streets of Old Milwaukee. In 1974, Music of Yesterday opened. In 1981, what is said to be the world's largest carousel was added to the Carousel building. Opened in 1985, the Infinity Room was constructed. In 1988, the House on the Rock was sold to Jordan's longtime friend, Art Donaldson, a gentleman who shared the interest and continued to complete Jordan's vision even after his death. In 1990, the Heritage of the Sea opened. In 1991, the Octopus Garden was added to the Heritage of the Sea. The Blue Danube debuted, and the house, along with the House on the Rock, the Carriage Collection, which would still add more nostalgia to the transportation building, and two additional buildings, the Welcome Center of Alex Jordan Jr. and the museum detailing Mr. Jordan's personal life and the construction of the complex and many buildings. The House on the Rock, a place that you may want to go see. This is Pastor Ted Marshall. We hope you enjoyed today's rest of the story. And remember, Veterans Radio Ministry is a volunteer radio organization and broadcast media organization. You can reach us by going to veteransradioministry.com. You can also look for us on Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel, a Roku channel, and we are broadcasting on Fire TV, also on Apple TV, and also on Roku. So if you get a chance, give a listen. This is Pastor Ted Marshall. Thanks, and God bless, and thank you for listening to the Last of Patrol radio shows on our network and also listening to the Rest of the Story devotionals. Thank you.